was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. Salt and pepper and heavy D up in the limousine. Hanging pictures on my wall. Every Saturday, rap attack, Mr. Magic Molly Mall. I let my tape rock till my tape pop. Smoking weed.
All right, welcome everybody. We second Fantasy Empire episode of the week. I'm doing double duty now that I'm down in the Caribbean. I'm so relaxed I can do more than one show. So
why we pay you the big bucks, Dan.
That's right.
Double duty on vacation.
Yep. Fortunately, I was able to get my contract renegotiated right before I came down here, so I could get some extra time on the yacht. But
nice.
Yeah. It's so we're doing a different contest today. We're doing the FFPC contest, and this one there are two levels to this. There is a $200 entry and there's a $50 entry. Each of them has, of course, different payouts. The $200 entry will pay $500,000 to first, so $500,000, and it pays down to 800th place. There's 7,250 teams max in it, and it's already over 56% full. The $50 one, 59%.
35.
Or yeah, 35. Sorry, the 35 is 59% full. Pays $100,000 to the winner. 16,000 teams max, pays down to 1,800th place. It's over 59% full as I checked this morning. These contests definitely will sell out early. Don't wait around until the last minute. You probably won't get in. So make sure you get your entries, because this contest is like really easy to enter compared to the one we did on Tuesday. That one's like making a lasagna. I mean, you gotta layer things in. Everything's got to be in the right order. You gotta figure out some strategy ahead of time. Whereas this one, it's a little bit more like eating potato chips. You just reach into the bag, grab another one, reach into the bag, grab another one. That's why you want to get your contest entries early. You can keep changing them up until lockout time, but you don't want to wait around and find out all of a sudden, I can't buy any more entries anymore. So plan ahead, get your entries in, and then feel free to change them up until roster lock. Roster lock will happen at the start of the first playoff game. After that, you cannot change any players, whether their game has started or not. Doesn't matter. All rosters are locked all the time. The way it works, it's basically you're picking a quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, 4 flexes, a kicker, and a defense. You get a maximum of 1 player per team, so there is no stacking whatsoever. It's normal FFPC scoring, and when your player is done, when their team loses, that player is done scoring points for you. So it adds up throughout the entire playoffs, and when you get to the Super Bowl week, your points are going to be scored ×2 for Super Bowl week only. So hopefully you've still got 2 players left. Hopefully they're 2 very high-scoring players, and the 2x will happen, and then hopefully you win $500,000. So that's kind of the gist of it, guys. Anything I'm missing or anything you want to add on that?
No, I think you got the rules down pretty good.
So there you go.
Tell you what, $500,000. Gosh, that sounds pretty good to me. That's a $1.25 each, gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Spread it around a little bit. We'll make it rain. Dan will buy the beach house next to his beach house.
That's right. That way I don't have to worry about neighbors I don't like. I can make sure I know who's in there. So
Nelson could leave his man cave for a little more time in the woods.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so those are kind of the rules. We're going to put together a team for each contest. So we're going to be putting together one of the $200 contest teams and one of the $35 contest teams. Real quick, let's just kind of go around the horn. Matt, you want to start us off? Any strategy tips, anything like that you like to talk about?
Yeah, like Nelson said the other day, he starts from, say the top down. I think in this one, you could just identify your 2 fades. Like, what teams are you not going to use? Actually, your 4. Who's your 2 fades and who's your 2 soft fades? Like, who's going to be your defensive kicker? And, you're going to have to be a little different. There's got to be some uniqueness to your team. Of course, you can't just go chalk, like you said. Just on the amount of entries that are going to go in there. And, people will have some chalk ones too. But you're going to have to nail that secondary piece on some teams, or take like that Lad McConkey that nobody, wants right now or likes, or, if you think the Chargers are going to go far, or have that ability. So, I mean, that's the way I'm looking at it. You want to pick out the 4 teams, the 2 hard fades, the 2 soft fades, and then the 4 teams you think are going to make it to, conference and Super Bowl.
Okay. Fair enough. Nelson, what do you got?
So in this contest, what I like to do is everything Matt said, but I also like to go position by position and try to figure out who, like, the most owned players. So I try to identify that. Like, okay, what's going to be like the logical like quarterback that's going to get used a lot? Maybe, give me the top 3. Tight end. Okay, who are we going to use at tight end, and what's like the general public going to do at tight end, and kind of try to identify like the top 3 in ownership. I don't necessarily want to just like stray away from total chalk, but in this contest with so many entries and everything, and once your lineup is locked, that's it. I do want to be a little bit different with that. I think that's important. And also once you identify kind of like, okay, the top 3 receivers, running backs in ownership, and sometimes that's just going through like and building the lineup, right? And you start figuring out like, okay, you don't want to use these teams. This is the team I want to use for like kicker, defense. And then it gets interesting because you're like, we'll get into the names and stuff, so I don't want to go into that right now. But like, you're on a team and you're like, oh, you know what? This team like is kind of like a pain in the ass. Like, it's a head scratcher because you're like, there's like 3 different guys you could use, but you don't feel comfortable with like any of them. They're not like just auto put them in. So I think that's going to be the most fun part, is when we're building the lineup and looking at that. Because for me, I don't want to go like just a total chalky lineup and have it be duped by, so many teams in this contest. I do want to be unique. And then the last part that I'll add is no matter what, you're going to end up having a one and done player in your lineup, a few of them, but it's trying to identify who's that player that potentially could have like a 30-plus point game and be one and done, because that player could be the difference maker. Like, where if you have that guy and then like you move on, compared to like a one and done player and he puts up like single digits, you've got a significant advantage over other teams, especially if that player is not necessarily very popular.
I mean, you guys covered it all pretty good right there between the 3 of you. Obviously, trying to make sure you get a quarterback in there that's going to play 4 times and play in the Super Bowl. That's the name of the game here, I would think. That, and like Nelson said, the biggest thing that sticks out to me in this contest is getting those guys that are going to be one and done, getting their big performance in a wild card weekend here, and taking it and moving on. Because once they're done, the other teams that pick those teams, example, if you pick a Jacoby Myers as your Jags representative and then the other guy picks a Brian Thomas, and Jacoby Myers drops a 20 and Brian Thomas drops an 8, he's not catching you. Like, that's it. You banked 20, he banked 8. So that's the way I see it. And I guess we'll start getting into it here.
Yeah, I think, you guys covered everything pretty well there. The way I go about it is I just try to pick winners for the first game that each team is going to play. And then, because between 6 and 8 players from the total of 14 teams is only going to play one game. Because somebody's got to lose each of the first 6 games, and then there's a possibility that the 1 seeds could lose in the next round. And if they lose, then those are also one and done. So you could have between 6 and 8 out of your players that are going to be, just not even playing at all. So you're going to have 2 hard fades, 2 soft fades, but then the 2 to 4 position players will be one and done. And that's where you can get some leverage, like Nelson was talking about, either getting lightly owned guys, or else you go to a team that almost everybody else is hard fading, and you take a player from that team, and you just count on the fact that you're going to be right about one of the teams that not so many people are hard fading. Because there's a lot of people out there who really, for a couple reasons, they don't like to fade a team like the Bills, or they don't like to fade a team like the Jaguars, even though only one of those teams can win. So if you say, hey, I think that's going to be a low-scoring game, and I'm going to fade the loser of that team, hard fade them and not take anybody, already you're getting a lot different from the field. And then if you take a lightly owned player from some other team, that's another way to get some difference. And then Nelson was talking about you get some teams that are really head scratchers, where you just don't really feel comfortable picking anybody, and so sometimes people will soft fade those teams just because they don't want to deal with the headache. So if you're willing to lean into that headache a little bit and take a stance, it can work out for you too. So.
And how do you play? And how do you play the 2 1 seeds that automatically in the first week, they're not there for you. You're not getting a multiplier after that. So especially, we're going to run into a problem here. Like a Nelson likes Seattle to go to the Super Bowl. So, he's expecting 3 games for them. But these other guys on Wild Card Weekend, you could possibly get 4 games out of them. Dan, I know you like Denver. So, I mean, that's that's all factors in here too.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Chris, because you'll have one team, unless it's a Seattle-Denver Super Bowl, you're going to have, but if one of those 2 makes it, then you're going to have one team that plays 3 games, one team that plays 4. And so you just got to make sure you're right on the team that plays 4 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one thing that comes to memory is like last year, I believe the winner of this contest had Jaden Daniels, and he obviously didn't make it to the Super Bowl. So, but he was very good in the playoffs. And what did he play? 3 games?
He played 3. Yeah, that I'm just thinking off the top of my head. But the Eagles and Hurts were the 1 seed, so he only played 3 games as well. Correct?
Yeah.
Correct. They only played.
They were the 1 seed last year.
Yeah, but the winner, I believe, was not. So, like, Saquon was super popular, right?
Yeah.
But I believe, Dan, do you have the winning lineup for this contest? Because I play this contest every year, and I could have sworn when I looked.
Wait, I'm wrong. I'm sorry, Nelson. I'm wrong, aren't I? The Lions were the 1 seed.
The Lions were one and done.
Yeah,
right?
Yes, but they were the 1 seed. So the Eagles had to play 4 games. They played opening weekend because only the 1 seed obviously gets the bye, which was Detroit.
You're right.
So that's why I'm saying, okay. Gotcha.
What all I'm saying, Chris, is you don't necessarily logically you make sense in saying you want your quarterback potentially in the Super Bowl and to play as many games as possible. But at the end of the day, like, we don't get to dictate that. Like, if Seattle and Denver meet in the Super Bowl, you want a player from each of those teams at the end of the day, because it's going to be times 2 in the Super Bowl. So even if you're behind other teams and trying to make up ground, in the Super Bowl, you're going to make up the ground with those 2 number 1 seeds, even though they had a bye and you get 0 points out of them the first week.
So would you say that this is a factual statement to say that the other contest that we do is more of a pick the right players throughout the playoffs, and this one seems more here in the FFPC, this seems more of a pick the games correctly through the championships. Of course, you need the right players, but the more you could keep these guys alive and pick the games correctly, the more successful you're going to be.
It's a little bit of that mixed in with picking the right one and done players.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. To me, the right one and done players are kind of, like the biggest lever that you can have, because if you've got that, basically what you want to do, because as each week goes by, certain teams drop out, and as those teams drop out, you're only going to have like 6 players or 8 players for the second week, and if you've got still 8 players going in the second week, you're already ahead of anybody who's only got 6 or 7 players going. And then if you've picked the right 8 players, but there's going to be probably, by the time you get down to those 8 players, there are going to be other entries that have those same 8 players. So the only place you've been able to differentiate between you and those other entries is in the first week, and having higher scoring players that dropped out. If that makes sense.
Yeah, Chris, basically, think of it this way: as like you're in the main event, right, for season long in a tournament, and you have several teams that are basically the same lineup or whatever, except 1 or 2 players, right? You basically, it's a race to be ahead of those teams by the time the final week comes up. So by the time the Super Bowl comes up, let's just, for shits and giggles, say Broncos Seahawks Super Bowl. Okay, I know this will make Paul Spateri very happy. All right, so
he's got the baby oil out this morning.
100%, he does. So they're in the Super Bowl, and let's just say that the difference makers are JSN and RJ Harvey. Okay, you're going to want to have the highest RJ Harvey and JSN team by the time the Super Bowl hits. You might be like in 60th place, okay? And you look at it and you're like, oh, I got no shot. But when you start looking at the teams and you're like, oh, wait a minute, they've got no Bronco, or they have Broncos kicker, or this guy's got Sutton, or this guy's got Bo Nix or Denver defense, and you realize like, oh, wait a minute, I'm the highest Harvey JSN team. I can move up pretty quick ×2, and I have a shot at first place overall. So that's where the one-offs, like not the one-offs, the one and dones come into play. That it's so important to hit those guys, and the strategy behind this is all up front, because it's like best ball. Once it's like the lineup set and the games kick off, that's it. Everything's locked. You can't change anything, nothing. So I like doing multiple teams in this thing, because there's nothing like more demoralizing than like you enter like 1 bullet, right? Or 2 bullets, and you got the one guy wrong. Like let's say like Chicago and Green Bay. Green Bay upsets Chicago, okay? And you decided to go whatever, Swift, okay? And he's one and done. But the true difference maker was Burden or Loveland, and they scored higher than Swift. You're pretty much done. Like, you're not going to be able to win, because there's going to be so many teams with Loveland and Swift, and the rest of your lineup, you're going to have like some players in that lineup that are very, very low owned. But again, you don't want to be doing that across the board, because you're just going to put a shit lineup together.
Yeah,
That's where you got to be careful.
There's a lot of entries. You kind of got to be perfect. You kind of got to get the games nailed. And like you said at the top of the show, you really want to have a quarterback going in the Super Bowl.
Just to interject, like what Jay said, Ferguson versus CD a couple of years ago was like a huge difference maker. And just say you had the Patriots going to the Super Bowl and you didn't go May, like Diggs versus Hunter Henry. Say it was Hunter Henry or Trevion, whoever. Like making that right call on the other guy is really, that's going to be pivotal. And because we, like I said, we really don't know. We've said it ad nauseum. That's all I've heard, and I've said it. It's so open, but we don't look at the Packers and Bears. That line is flipped now. Packers are favored by 1.5, which I think is the correct line in my opinion, but that's not here nor there. So, I think it's going to be even more fun this year because there's so many ways of possibilities.
And then one more thing, Chris, before I forget, is you got to have difference-making tight ends in the pool to choose from in the first place. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to get ahead of myself and say like, oh, it's crucial, adding a bunch of tight ends to the roster. But in the Super Bowl, if it works out this way, and you have what comes to mind is the year. I want to say I finished top 5 in this contest in 2011. It was the Giants-Patriots Super Bowl, okay. And I had Nix and Aaron Hernandez, and in this contest, it's 1.5 per reception for tight end. Mm-hmm. So in the Super Bowl, you're getting 3 points to every 2 for a receiver.
Yeah.
So, a guy like, a tight end can pick up points really quick, and it can add up really quick. So,
yeah, I got my eye on a couple tight ends that I would like to see in this lineup as we go. But shout out to Hakeem Nicks. Man, I loved drafting him back in the day. He was a Vaccaro favorite, Hakeem Nicks.
Yep.
And I know Matty Moe loved Aaron Hernandez, but that's a different story.
I did on the field. Let's put a disclaimer out there. I was not in love with his extracurricular activity.
His side hobbies.
Yes, the disclaimers have started already. I see.
Yeah, that's all right.
All right. Well, let's do this. Let's get in a quick break, and we'll come back and we'll just run through those first games, decide who our winners and losers are going to be for those, and start building this lineup here.
Okay, the FFPC Playoff Challenge is now. It is live. There's a $35 contest, $35 entry fee. There's a contest with a $200 entry fee and $500,000 up for grabs. You just pick any 12 guys, a different player per NFL team. No draft, no salaries. They make it easy. And don't forget, use promo code Underworld for a $25 bonus. Boom! At myffpc.com.
All right, there you go. So there's a way you can get an extra $25 out of the FFPC just by using code Underworld too. So make sure you're doing that if you're entering this contest for the first time.
Scott Kobe's in. He's stealing Nelson's job, and we're back.
All right, so let's just go through and decide who we think is going to be the losers of all the first round games, and then go from there. So New England versus the Chargers. Who you guys got? We'll just go down the strip here. So Matt, who you got?
Without the spread, I'll go New England, but I do like the Chargers as a dark horse this year.
Yeah, cover your ears, Nelson. This is my upset special of Week 1. I'm going Justin Herbert and the Chargers for the upset here. This is where someone like me could have fun with this contest a little bit with the way I see some of these games playing out. Go ahead, Nelson.
No offense taken. I think these playoffs are wide open, and I've said it before that that's what's going to make this fun. Is I don't think there's any like true dominant teams and like obvious even like the 1 seeds, right? Like Denver, I actually think is not a very strong 1 seed, and with the Seahawks, although their defense looks very dominant, they can run the ball. They got JSN. Like, I still think the jury's still out on Darnold if he can lead a team, through the playoffs and for a Super Bowl run. So,
I'm sorry. No, go ahead, Nelson. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. And then like New England and Chicago Bears, like 2 second-year quarterbacks and everything.
That's where I was going with it.
Two teams that were shitty last year and they came on strong this year. Usually, like you want you feel a little bit better about these like 1 and 2 seeds if it was like sustained success.
Experience, I think, is the word you're looking for, Nelson. And that's what I see in this year's playoffs that you haven't seen in years past is look at the top seeds here. You know, the reason why I could see Denver winning a couple games here is they at least played last year in the playoffs. They got their feet wet. They went into Buffalo. They played a good game. So they got some experience. I like to see, like, all right, now they came back this year. They're going to build on that. They're going to win a game or two. New England, I could see them, you know, they're a young and experienced team, right? You got a lot of, guys with their eyes open. And who are they playing? A Chargers team with an experienced coaching staff, an experienced quarterback, an experienced defense. So, you know, they won't be scared by the moment. And that's why that's the upset pick for me is I think New England had a great year. Let's not kid ourselves. They had a pretty soft schedule. You know, when they did have to play a good team, they showed up and they won. But I could see them getting
Chris,
kicked
they
off
beat
here.
one playoff team. The Bills at home versus Josh Allen. In the preseason, they were favored 11 times in the look-ahead. You know, the look-ahead lines of the season. So, and I love Drake May. I'm a big fan, even though I'm a Bills fan. I think it was the third softest schedule in the last 40 years.
Yeah, you could see the Chargers sneaking out a 23-20 win here and picking off the Patriots. And the Patriots have eyes on the future, and they know that they're a contending team now as the years go on here. They got the coaching staff, they got the quarterback, they're set, they got their running back, they got everything. So that's just the way I see it. And I see, you know what? You look right across the aisle here in the NFC with their 2 seed, and the Bears are in the same situation as the Patriots. You know, so we'll start getting into those games as well. But yeah, that's why I see it a little differently.
The other thing too,
so Nelson,
Dan,
who are you?
real quick,
Okay.
With this exercise, as far as picking the teams who we think are going to advance, I did want to talk about a little bit of like ownership, right? Of who we think the popular plays are going to be too.
Yeah, I think probably let's just buzz through and pick our winners, and then go back and we can start thinking about ownership as we start putting players from those winners in.
Yep.
If that
All right,
makes
Dan,
sense.
who do you have?
So
Patriots or Chargers?
I'm going to go Patriots.
So we got a tie.
Nelson,
No, we got
so
3-1. I'm the only one on the Chargers.
Without
Yeah,
the spread, I took New England. I do like the Chargers a lot, though. It's pretty much like if I had to bet money and I'm getting 3.5, I'm taking the Chargers. But straight up,
I mean, betting aside, for this purpose, are you any of you guys willing to fade or soft fade New England?
I am.
Yeah, if we're picking them as a loser,
I will do that on
soft
one of my
fade.
entries. You know, I think, like you said, I'm gonna have a few entries. You're gonna, so you're gonna have to make some moves like that.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to talk about, like Dan wants us to get through each game, just picking them real quick. Nelson, you just asked, a soft fade.
Gotcha. Yeah,
It would be a soft fade
Right.
for me, but we'll keep going.
Sorry, Dan, I hijacked the schedule.
God damn it, Nelson.
Stay on schedule. Nelson, you are picking the Patriots or the Chargers? Which one?
Patriots.
Oh, come
Patriots.
on, Dan.
Okay, so
Yeah.
all right, so we got 3 Patriots, 1
Got
Chargers.
his
All right.
Patriot underwear on right now.
We're back on track. Jacksonville or Buffalo? Let's see if we can do this one quicker. Matt, go.
You know what's crazy? I listen to Visson pretty much every day throughout the day, and all I keep hearing from people is everybody thinks the winner of this game is the team that's coming out of the AFC. I mean, I don't know if you guys agree with that, but I'm hearing that pretty much from, people that I think are good, that come on, and I've heard it quite a few times. This is another game where I'm going to lean Jacksonville. I'm a Bills fan. Josh Allen is Superman. I just don't think they have the supporting cast, and they can't stop the run.
All right,
I'm
so you're going
flipping.
Jacksonville?
I'm actually jumping on Matt's boys here. I'm having a change of heart. And if Josh Allen, I could see Josh Allen just being Superman for 3 games and getting this team finally to the Super Bowl, even though I think it's his worst Bills team and roster in a long time. But I just can't get over the fact that There's no Mahomes, no Lamar in his way, and these other teams that he has to beat are not powerhouses this year.
Hey, what do you guys think about Harbaugh? Wait until after this weekend. If the Bills lose, he's looking to come to Buffalo and take that job.
Hey.
Oh, it's very smart.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah,
I'll take him.
he has
I
his
want
Miami
agent,
job, by the-
McDermott ideas.
yeah, he's got his agent telling everybody that, hey, you know, he was blindsided by this. He wasn't expecting this. He needs some time with his family. You know, this and that. You know, no. Heck
By the
no.
way, shrewd move by that agent to lie and say 7 teams have reached out when there's only 6 teams looking for a head coach.
Now they're saying 9 teams.
To put the
Now
whole
they're
league
saying
on
9.
notice. Yeah, you put the whole league on notice. It's actually really smart. He probably only got 2 calls for all we know, but it was just smart to say 7. So good stuff. Anyway,
All right, so I think we have 1 vote for Jacksonville, and then Chris was yours for Buffalo. I couldn't tell.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Nelson, what do you got?
So again, real quick, I think anybody could win. I actually think that Buffalo wouldn't surprise me if they ran the table, but my pick is the Jaguars.
Okay.
All right. And I am also kind of reluctantly, but I'm with the Jaguars as well. I do think this game is super, super close.
I like this. That's 2
I
games in a
think
row.
one of-
I'm the only one. I'm on the island.
Yeah.
I think one of our
Well,
2
don't-
teams has to have Parker Washington.
Yeah. Well, don't forget we've still got.
I thought that was a
50
given.
Okay, I'm just making.
If we don't go Parker or ETN, I'm gonna. This is bullshit. I'm signing off.
Nelson, the same way we expect Maddie on Sunday at the GST, get together for the game to show up with a Mooney jersey on. You better have your fucking Washington jersey on.
I wish I had a Trevion jersey because I would definitely be rocking.
That would be the one.
Yeah.
All right. So, and don't forget, we have a $35 entry we can put together. So, the ones that we are kind of torn on a little bit, we can go the other way on that entry.
That'll be like the stepchild.
Yes, exactly. All right. Hopefully the $100,000 stepchild, but we'll find out. All right. Pittsburgh or Houston? Maddie, what do you got?
I think the Steelers are shit, but I mean, I'm going to take Houston, but I really think the Steelers have a legit shot to win this game.
Houston.
All right.
Houston.
Nelson?
I think Houston. I don't think this game's close.
All right. We got a whitewash on that one. Everybody's on Houston. Chicago or Green
Makes
Bay?
me like the Steelers even more.
That's really going to upset my playoff picks if Pittsburgh wins that game on Monday night.
Right. It's going to upset a lot of people.
That's going to mess up a lot of things.
Yeah.
All right. Chicago or Green Bay? Maddie, what do you got?
It's Green Bay for me. I think a healthy Josh Jacobs getting to rest him up. Watson's been one of the best receivers, and I think Jordan Love outplays Caleb.
So all week long, I'll tell you the truth. As soon as the lines came out on Monday morning, I bet 2 games. I bet the Rams hard right off the bat, and I bet the Bears. I thought the Bears at home versus a team without Micah Parsons, and I assumed that Rome Odunze was going to be back, would have too many offensive weapons to get past the Packers here. I've since flipped, and I just can't get over the fact that Vegas is telling us that you have the 7 seed on the road going to the 2 seed at home, and they're a 1-point favorite. So Vegas is smarter than me. Even though I think the Bears win, I will be on the Packers.
I think the Packers own them. I mean, I don't know how the Packers lost that last game to the Bears. That was such an insane ending.
So 2 Packers. Nelson, what do you got?
I think the Packers win this game.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
I'm going to be the lone wolf on Chicago.
no.
But there you go.
I want to be Michael Irvin then. Get the
No, you don't. No, you don't.
I think
hell of a
No, you
drug.
don't, Matt.
I think this is a sneaky high-scoring game. I think this is not one that I want to fade at all. So
The Packers game, you saying?
Yep, I think
I
it's
agree
going to
with
be
you,
sneaky
Dan.
high-scoring. I think
30-mile-an-hour wind and very
Okay,
cold
well,
in that game on Saturday night. Just
I have not checked the weather. all I know is it's.
I heard
warm,
possible
sunny out here.
snow.
Why would you check the weather, Dan? You're sitting on the beach with your sandals on in 90-degree weather. You worried about the weather in Chicago?
Let's
No,
go,
I am
dude.
not. So,
Yeah.
all right, Philadelphia or San Francisco? What do you got, Matt?
I'm gonna go with San Fran. Everybody's going
Wow.
Philly. I'm going San Fran. I think Trent plays and Ricky plays.
Let me just say this. I hate the Eagles. I think they suck. But defensively, I don't. I'm shocked. I thought this game would be a high-scoring game. The total opened up at 46.5, and it went down to 44.5 now. I thought it was going to go up to like 48 because they're expecting like 50-degree weather. Like, there's no weather issues here at Philly at all. And for a San Francisco team that's god-awful on defense, but very good on offense, and now has a fully healthy Kittle back, I thought they could at least score 17 to 24 points on Philly. I'm pretty confident that Philly's going to score high 20s on this Niners shit defense. I like the Eagles a lot in this game, but I do not like the Eagles to go much further after that.
Just a quick update. I'm looking at the Weather Channel app. Sunday night, it's in Chicago. Cloudy skies. Saturday. Low 23 and 15 to 25 mile an hour winds. I don't think anything these two teams haven't dealt with in,
Yeah.
Right. And just listen, the last thing on that Eagles Niners game we just talked about. Trent Williams didn't practice again yesterday. Today's a big day. If he doesn't get out there, I'll tell you right now, I'm going to pound the Eagles if Trent Williams is out on Sunday.
That would change my
Yeah.
But again, I think they both got to practice Friday. For me.
Hey, Scotty the King checking in with his Seahawks pajamas on this morning.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right, Nelson, who you got on this? Philly or San Francisco?
I got the Eagles.
Okay. My heart says San Francisco, but my head says Eagles. So
I left my heart in San Francisco.
Chris Tony Bennett.
somebody picked up on that. Very good,
There you
very
go.
good, Chris.
There you
All right,
go.
Carolina or the Rams? Is this a
I
a
think we're
whitewash for
sweeping the Rams.
Straight down the board, Dan. You don't have to waste much time. This is going to be a
All
beatdown.
right. There we go. All right.
Except for Edelman's son, who's taking the Panthers money line.
Little
All right.
Uno. Mini
So we
Uno.
got- So then that sets up a second round for us of the Rams are playing Philly, and then the Packers are going to be playing Seattle. Who do you have between the Packers and Seattle, Matt?
I'll say Seattle, but I think that's a very close game.
Okay,
Seattle for me.
Seattle,
Seattle.
and I'm going Seattle as well. So Seattle will not be one and done. And then for Denver, the way that we have it picked, they're going to be playing Houston.
Oh wait, you forgot you want to jump back to the AFC? We didn't talk the Eagles and Rams.
Yeah, we can.
However you want to do
Yeah.
it, Dan. However
Yeah.
you want to do it. But I will tell you this: the Rams.
I was just looking for the one and done teams and just
Okay.
trying to determine if Denver or Seattle is going to be a one and done.
Okay, go ahead.
That's all. Okay, so Denver versus Houston. Matt.
You know what? I'm just not feeling Denver this year. I'll go Houston
Okay.
if they could survive.
This is why I see a path for Houston to get to the Super Bowl. I know a couple people have told me I'm crazy with this pick, but you know what? This is a top-notch defense, and Denver's a decent defense too. But they've shown a lot of leaks lately. The last month of the season, Houston, I know they had that last game of the season versus the Colts, where the Colts were somehow going up and down the field with Riley Leonard, but other than that, the Houston defense has been pretty damn impressive to me. I think Houston beats Denver in Denver.
All right, Nelson.
All right. So this is where my playoff teams either sink or swim. at this point, because I'm actually, the way I'm predicting the playoffs to go, I'm going to have kind of a fade on Nico Collins, and I'm going to have quite a bit of Fairbairn at kicker for Houston. And I don't mind that they're advancing. So that doesn't scare me. Because my thought is I play it out as like, game script, what's going to happen. And I think Texans are going to win. They're going to move on. They're going to play Denver. I think Surtain's going to lock up Nico, okay? And I think the Texans are still could win, and I'm okay with that because I think it's going to be like a kicker battle in this type of game.
I think Jaden Higgins is if they're going to go far, Higgins is going to be the emerging factor.
How about Dalton Schultz?
Yeah.
Schultz could step up. Yep.
I mean, look at the game Monday night.
So that's
they
somebody.
All right.
That's somebody I'm going to bring up in a little while when putting together these teams as representatives. Was that Dalton Schultz as well?
Yeah, for sure. All right, so what do you got, Nelson? You picking Houston or you picking Denver?
Picking Texans.
All right, so we got three on the Texans. My vote won't matter then. I would pick Denver, but that says Denver is also going to be a one and done team for us. So that's one that we can we can either soft fade or hard fade, and so maybe get some difference from the field on that too. So, all right. So let's start building this lineup. Where do you guys want to start? We've kind of picked our teams. Do we want to start at the quarterback position?
I don't know how we're ever going to agree on that.
Let's start. I think let's start with the obvious.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Fire one out. Who's an obvious one to you, Nelson?
To me, I don't think I can get cute with Seattle. I'm just gonna pick JSN. Like I can't go Walker or anybody else. I could go their defense because believe it or not, I want to say 1 year in this contest when Seattle went to the Super Bowl and they put up.
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember. Was it against Peyton Manning?
Yeah, I think it was that one.
Yeah.
They got the safety right away.
Oh, yeah. They got a return from Percy Marvin. I think they got a defensive score.
Yeah, they put up like a crooked number in the Super Bowl ×2. And the team that won it had Seattle defense with a position player from Denver, right?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was everybody who soft faded Seattle.
Best Super Bowl ever. There you go, kid.
Yep, I was waiting for that. We threw the bait out there. For him. And then Spiteri's running wild, running scared right now. He's not even around. He don't want to talk about that Super Bowl. He wakes up in the middle of the night twitching on that one.
All right, Matt, why don't you go ahead and give us a player who definitely belongs in this lineup?
So
definitely
belongs in this lineup. I mean, I'm gonna go Puka. I think we go with the top two offensive players. And what's crazy, I know everybody's got JSN winning it, and I was on that thing. But when you look at it side by side, it probably should be JSN. I mean, probably should be Puka. That's wild.
I mean, I know you put him in, but I think 3 out of the 4 of us have the Rams going to the Super Bowl. No.
Yeah, and I think it's okay with Puka. I mean, he sometimes outscores Stafford. So
you're also getting 4 points for the quarterback too, as opposed to 6. But I'm fine if you want to go Stafford. If you think he's the quarterback.
No, I was just bringing it up for discussion points for a one and done. Is if 3 out of the 4 of us like the Rams, and we want to have 4 games out of a quarterback. I thought that seemed to be the obvious.
Okay, then take them off.
No, I'm just saying. I just wanted to bring it up to see what the other guys said.
Dan, you can jot it down. Stafford can be in the conversation.
Yeah, I like Stafford too.
We can backtrack. I don't mind putting Puka in for now, and then we can backtrack and look at it and say,
gotcha.
who's the if we get stuck, who's the quarterback we want to go with.
Gotcha.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to throw the first curveball at you guys because I've been thinking about this contest and everything, and you guys might shoot this down real quick, but I want to nominate Ladd McConkey.
I like it, Chris. I like it.
And it's
Holy shit.
It's two reasons. You guys remember the game end of year last year, the Chargers going into New England? Lad
Yeah.
McConkey went ape shit.
I
And
know.
maybe this is just a good matchup for him with Christian Gonzalez on the outside and Lad McConkey all in the slot and running around a little bit. If this game plays with New England playing from ahead or a little bit of a back and forth, I know Lad hasn't had a good ending to his year here. But if we're talking sneaky plays that won't be, much owned and could be a one and done and drop a 25-point game and get out, I could see Lad McConkey being that type of player.
Chris, this ain't a sneaky play. This is spicy meatball.
Spicy meatball.
No,
Yeah,
I like
man.
it, Chris, because I think, like you said, if they win this game, they can beat Denver. I'm not saying they will, but they can beat Denver.
That's
Let
the
me
other
ask you
factor
guys
right
this.
there. That's the
what-
other
what-
factor, Matt. You're right. Is
What
this
about
team
Randy
can play-
Gadsden? What about
He
Gadsden?
just disappeared, kind of. That's tough for me.
Yeah,
He's
I
been
don't
kinda a
think
little
it's
bit up
far
and down.
fetched, Dan, that play either.
Because basically, you've got New England. They struggle a little bit versus the tight end, and Denver struggles a little bit versus the tight end. I mean, at least relative to the wide receivers. So that's
Not
why
a-
when
Not a
I'm
bad
just
play.
throwing it out there. Maybe
No.
a pivot from the pivot. I don't know.
Sure.
What do you-
I
Definitely
think
up
both
for
those
discussion.
guys. This is what I'll say. I think both those guys are going to be very, very low owned. Like
I agree.
Gatson actually, I think, is going to be owned more than McConkey. Like McConkey is a great call, Chris, if it works out, right? If he continues putting up, single digits, then, and let's say the Chargers are one and done, then we're toast with this lineup. But even if McConkey doesn't have like a great game, but the Chargers upset the Patriots and move on, we still have now a bullet, for McConkey to come back the following week and put up a big game.
That's exactly the reason for the Lad McConkey thought process right there. Yep.
That's yeah. I mean, I'm with you. I'm totally.
I'm gonna say the popular player from this group, from the Chargers, is going to be Dicker. I think
Yes.
he's going to be the most popular pick.
That was my next thought. Was most people's Charger representative in these contests will be Dicker. A, because he's a great kicker, and B, most people will be on New England. So
Correct.
people tend to say, you know what, let me just use the kicker from the Chargers as the representative, especially that the Chargers are so spread around. Who wants Hampton, who wants McConkey, Gadsden, whatever. Defense, So just a little way to get creative, guys, is Lad McConkey, I think.
I like the Gatson and I like the McConkey call.
Yeah.
on
Okay.
that.
So
Okay, so we've got, we can stick a pin in Gadsden, we can stick a pin in Stafford. Those would be a couple ways we could pivot if we decide we don't like how the build is going. I like Nelson's thought on the Texans defense, so I'm going to nominate them to go in.
Yeah, it's Texans defense or kicker for me.
okay.
Okay,
I'd rather go to defense, and I love Fairbairn, but if they're going to go far, they're going to go far because of the defense.
yep,
Okay.
totally agree. Okay, all right, back around.
Or they just kick the shit out of Aaron Rodgers on Monday night.
Listen, if the Texans are going to make a run, it's going to be because of their defense.
right.
So
All right, can I start and give you like a crazy one?
Okay,
Sure.
All right, McCaffrey's going to be super, super chalk. Okay.
Yep.
And I know what he did in the regular season, but if I'm picking the Eagles and I'm saying that San Fran's one and done, I think if McCaffrey wasn't around, Kittle would be like 95% chalk in this contest. So with McCaffrey, I want to make a case that San Fran's one and done, and Kittle could outscore McCaffrey in this game against Philly.
I mean, I said this the other day. I completely agree. Kittle would be one of my first guys that I would put in this lineup. Never mind under the radar or anything. And that's with CMC being the way more owned and the Niner representative, especially in a tight end premium. Kittle, I think, has to be in this lineup.
Okay, perfect. Let's go Kittle.
Like, when you look at this, guys, and you start running down the tight ends, it's not a tight end friendly playoff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, usually we have Kelsey, and we have usually some, like, big names. This year, you're gonna notice. I don't know if you guys have kind of done this exercise just yet. We're doing it now, but like, I don't have like any no-brainer like tight end calls.
Don't disrespect Dawson Knox.
Well,
I agree with Nelson. I don't think there's any no-brainers here, and I think for that reason, I think Nelson's right that McCaffrey's going to keep Kittle ownership way down, and so people are going to start gravitating more towards guys like Loveland or maybe Schultz or Goddard, guys like that, and I think that everybody thinks, oh, I'm going to be sneaky because I'm not taking Kittle, and they're going to be putting in like Schultz and Loveland. And those guys could end up being chalkier even than Kittle just because of the McCaffrey factor.
I think just go with Kittle. Let's just put him in already.
Yeah. I just think, Dan, from like an ownership standpoint, I don't even think there's going to be too much deep thought into it. I think people are just going to – it's like JSN. You're going to scroll down, you're going to be like, McCaffrey in. And there's not going to be really like much thought involved. And we're the ones that are galaxy braining it a little bit, not going McCaffrey. Because basically every other play is to McCaffrey. But I think a Philly defense that's completely healthy, I think that should be the focus, I would think. Like if I'm a defensive coordinator for Philadelphia, I'm saying, listen, we just got to stop McCaffrey. And we got to make sure we have a guy quick enough that's shadowing him out of the backfield, make these other guys beat us. We have good enough corners that we can man up with Jennings and Pearsall and Bourne, and you know what I'm saying. So Kittle's kind of the guy I could see, him having a really good game and being one and done, and we have our tight end out of the way.
So not only that, but the flex positions. I think there's 4 tight ends here that are in discussion. Okay, and we mentioned most of them. There's Kittle, that would be my top guy. Loveland would be my Bears representative, especially if we're thinking that they lose to the Packers. He could, he's been on fire for 3 weeks now. He could put up the most points in that game. Okay. I like Dalton Schultz in this game versus the Steelers. Okay. And then Hunter Henry could easily be the top target and have the most points in the game versus the Chargers. So I don't know how many we could get in here out of that group, but I think they're all in play as the top nomination for each of those teams. Okay,
well, what are we thinking about with running back here? We haven't touched on a running back, so.
Right, so we've knocked Kyron out, we've knocked McCaffrey out, and we've knocked Hampton out.
Can I just say one guy I think has to be in this lineup?
Sure.
Do it.
Travis Etienne.
I would agree with that, but if we think that Jacksonville could go all the way, then I think we got to go Trevor Lawrence.
I don't know why we think that Jacksonville could go all the way. I would think that Josh Allen is the quarterback of this team if Stafford isn't going to be, no?
Well, we said Buffalo is going to lose the first round, so that's why I'm saying Jacksonville maybe is the one that goes all the way, just by default.
So even though none of us have Jacksonville in the Super Bowl, we think Lawrence is going. I'm trying to figure out. I know we all have different picks here. Yeah. Matt, Jacksonville is your Super Bowl pick?
I think if we're not going with Stafford, I think it's either Lawrence or Josh Allen for the Super. I agree with that.
If it's Josh Allen, then we're
playing
picking
better. I will admit they have beat a bunch of shit teams, but they did go into Denver and whooped them straight up. They have played trash teams, but they even took care of the Chargers at home that game. They dominated them. So they're playing some of the best football. And I don't see why Jacksonville coming out of the AFC is
this leads
if they win this week.
Oh, not at all. Not at all. And that's why I think all 4 of us have different representatives out of the AFC. which back to my point is why I thought Stafford would be the no-brainer quarterback for this particular bill. You only have one quarterback, not two as in the other contest, to play off each other. If we all agree, 3 out of 4 of us, that the Rams are going to the Super Bowl and like them, then why wouldn't Stafford be the quarterback of this team? And then all the AFC representatives, we put in, players here. That's just my
only because, Chris, like for me, I don't think picking the quarterback that I think could be in the Super Bowl is that important, because in the past few years
that hasn't happened.
That hasn't been the case necessarily. So like you can have a quarterback play 2 or 3 games and still be okay if you got the right position player in the Super Bowl.
But Nelson, the counter to that, Nelson, is the quarterbacks that we decide on to put in this lineup have a better chance of being one and done other than a Stafford, while Stafford still has, while Puka is probably the most owned, I guess I'm trying to say, It's kind of like a fade of the majority of the contest, which will probably be Puka as the Rams representative, right? Mm-hmm. While getting out of a possible one and done at the quarterback position.
I'm totally fine going with Stafford. I have no qualms about that. But
I have no problem with Stafford either. I mean, I think he's going to be relatively low owned. I think Trevor Lawrence is also going to be well owned. I guess for me, when I look at Stafford and Puka and I say who's going to be the highest scorer between those, I can make a case for either one. When I look at Trevor Lawrence or ETN, say who's going to be the higher scorer between those, I'm going Trevor Lawrence. I don't care if they play, if they play one game, it could go ETN. But if they play 2, 3, 4 games, I think it's going to be Lawrence. So that's why I was kind of leaning that way since we picked Jacksonville to move ahead of Buffalo. But I can also understand why everybody's a little uneasy about picking Jacksonville all the way.
Well, I mean, the thing we got to talk about too is, Puka's been playing out of his mind, but now Adams is coming back. So, I mean, I love Puka here, but I would not be opposed to going with Stafford. I'm fine with that.
All right.
If you want to go on
how about we go with Stafford, because I think that'll make it easier.
$500K decision right here, boys. I just think it opens up things a little better for the team.
Right. I'd agree with that. It definitely does. I think Trevor Lawrence is a conviction pick.
Okay. So who's the guy? I think we go with this way. Who's the guy from the Packers? Since we have since we 3 out of 3. So it's Jacobs.
Jacobs for me is my vote.
I would lean Jacobs, but I don't think Watson's out of the possibility. He's just played so well.
My vote would be Jacobs as well.
Okay, so Jacobs, I'm fine with that too.
Yeah,
I think him getting the rest is.
And as we get through this, I think the next question, once Jacobs goes in this lineup for the other running back position, is ETN or James Cook.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it can be both because we can use one.
I agree with that. Yes, it can be.
One's going to be one and done. ETN's got the much better matchup than Cook. Mm-hmm. I think Cook, if people are not using Allen, they're using Cook.
Right.
Which to me means that, if we're going to go with our conviction, we're going to say, okay, Buffalo is we said Buffalo is not going to win. Then to me, Buffalo might be the hard fade or the soft fade, rather than picking a position player.
Or are they a team where you sneak in a tight end premium Dalton Kincaid, get a 7 for 70 and a touchdown type game out of him, and then move on? While 90% is on James Cook and Josh Allen.
If they're a soft fade, that has to be because, we're not putting a kick.
Let's get a little different here. If we're all planning on the Bills losing this game, 3 out of 4 of us have that, then why just go James Cook?
No, I like the theory.
Nelson, you disagree with that?
No, because I actually for this show I was going to try to keep that under the radar, but on the teams that I'm doing, So I got to let the canary out of the cage, okay? For the teams that I'm doing, Kincaid's going to be one of my most owned tight ends on my
I
team.
know you,
All
my
right.
friend. I know you with your little
All
secrets.
right, so we've got
I just hope that
ETN
knee
in.
holds up.
We got ETN in, correct? And then we're putting in Kincaid?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we've
I'm
still
gonna
got.
I'm gonna jump the gun here as well. I'm gonna say that the Eagle representative is gonna be AJ Brown, guys. Is that correct?
I'm good with that. I think A.J. Brown over Saquon.
I agree.
Okay.
And I think that's a way to differentiate a little bit. So
So we're
looking
going
at-
Loveland from the Bears.
Let me ask you guys this real quick, because I was struggling with this one. My opinion is I think Saquon's going to be owned, the highest owned Eagle, but I could be wrong on this.
I think you're right.
You think so too, Dan?
I think
I
he's
do.
going to be. I mean, I
'Cause I-
love Slim Reaper versus that San Francisco defense. The only thing I'm worried is if they just run it too much. But if they're throwing the ball, I don't see how San Francisco's covering that guy. You saw what Burden
Yep.
was doing.
I just think because I'm picking the Eagles to go far. I think they, even though I hate the coaching staff, they have a very complete team. And in that second round, we've got them going up against the Rams. And even though they've become leaky here to end the season, their defense throughout the season was very good against the running back. That's where I think like an A.J. Brown, where against the receiver they weren't very good. I think an A.J. Brown could dominate that game against San Fran and then against the Rams, even if they lose to the Rams.
Right.
Yeah, the Rams have a tough second round matchup either way you look at it, because most likely, unless the Eagles lose at home, they're not going to see the Bears. The Rams would love to see the Bears in round 2, but they're going to most likely see Seattle or Philly.
Yeah.
So tough matchup. I'm still going to be picking the Rams, but I see where you're going with that, Nelson. I still think Barkley will be more owned, but between him, Hurts, getting his percentage in, small Devonta.
Nobody likes
it'll be
Devontae
mixed
here
out.
besides me.
I just
Yeah.
think, to me, I just think A.J. Brown's been so good here down the stretch. I mean, he's been the go-to guy.
The only way I'm putting in Devontae is if we think the Eagles are absolutely for sure one and done. A.J. Brown's the kind of hedge your bet position because I think in any 2-game or better sample, A.J. Brown is going to dust Devontae.
Okay.
And I think we've already gotten a little bit weird with McConkey and Kincaid, so we don't have to get too crazy with the rest of our picks, but we'll see how they come down.
All right, this is where it gets interesting because we've got some higher seeds and we haven't picked a player for those higher seeds. So we need a Broncos, we need a Patriots, and we need a Bears.
Right.
My Bear representative for this lineup to get another tight end would be Loveland easily. I think that's a pretty good pick on this team. And then we really
one and done Loveland.
Say that again.
So you're saying a one and done. So what I'm getting at is we got 3 high seeds, 2 number 2s and a number 1.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm getting at is one's going to have to be a soft fade.
Right.
Basically, what do we do with the Patriots? Is like that would be my question.
I was going to nominate, and if I was doing this lineup on my own, the Patriots kicker would be what I have in, because I'm hoping that the Chargers go in, upset them, and even if not, you get the Patriots. The Patriots kick a lot of field goals. So
You guys would have to overrule me because I don't think it's a no-brainer that the Chargers win this game, and I would have a hard time not having either Henderson or Stevenson or potentially Diggs. And
I would like to have a position player from the Patriots. I do think that's a tough game. I do like the Chargers as well.
Nelson's dog agrees. I have no problem with that, honestly. I would either go the Denver kicker and fade Denver because I don't like them, or I would go the Pats kicker and fade them. I could see
I'm more
both
for
these teams
Lutz.
losing second week.
All right.
I'm more taking the Denver kicker. We go
Okay.
Loveland, and we decide on the Patriot.
I think that's fair because Denver's
Okay.
kicker kicks a lot of field goals too, and they'll play a low scoring game, and he can easily
First
kick
one's a
3 or
mile
4
high.
field goals and get bounced.
I kind of like that as Denver the soft fade because I think we all predicted Texans win,
Houston.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
that game will be ugly.
so if they're one and done, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking either Denver, it would be like Denver defense or their kicker. But for this, I know we're doing Texans
Yeah.
defense.
I like
All right.
So here's
So
the
I
key.
think
Here's
we're
the
going to
pick.
be, yeah. And I think with 3 tight ends, that's going to be fairly unique because the tight ends are not strong in this field. Like Nelson was saying earlier, it's like it doesn't feel comfortable picking any of those tight ends. And we went away from a couple tight ends that are probably the most comfortable, Goddard and Schultz. So I think with the tight ends we have picked, plus McConkey, we can go as chalky as we want on those last flex.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Patriot, right? It's whatever Patriot you guys want. I think Ramondre's a nice low-owned good pick. If you want to go,
I like him or Henderson. I think the Chargers, they're going to look to try to run the ball on the Chargers. And then the only tricky part is if they move on, what happens against Jacksonville, because that's how we have it projected, right? If Jacksonville beats Buffalo.
And I think that makes trivia on the pick because if we have them going up against Jacksonville, I think probably Travion is the running back that has the best chance of damaging Jacksonville.
okay.
Or Diggs.
Or Diggs, yeah.
Like that's the other question is like it almost seemed like they were saving Diggs during the season where he wasn't playing full snaps. But I have a hard time believing that now with the playoffs, I think he's just going to be like a heavily targeted guy for May moving forward.
Yeah.
I see probably, if people don't take a Patriots running back, then Diggs is probably the next biggest pivot. I think they're either going Drake May or a running back. And Diggs probably right around the same. Yeah, he's probably not too much less owned than either of the running backs, to be honest. I think Hunter Henry is the real, like if you wanted to get weird, that would be the way you'd go. But I don't think we need to.
If Buffalo wins that game, right? So let's play this out. If Buffalo wins that game, we feel strongly, except for Matt, we feel strongly that the Texans are going to win that game. Then the Texans would go to Foxborough. So how do we see that game getting played out? Like who do you think is like could have 2 really good games for New England? Matt, do you have like an opinion on Henderson or Stevenson? Only because I was thinking Henderson, but like Stevenson looked really good.
He's looked
They're
really
down the
good,
stretch.
but I mean, it's kind of been like, I don't know. Henderson got a little banged up. Stevenson had 2 good games the first half of the season, Miami and Tennessee. And then, like, the end of the season against what? The Dolphins in week 17, week 18, whatever.
And the Jets, yeah.
I think if they're going to go far, Henderson's got to be the guy. But I'm open to Stevenson or Diggs. I don't have it. It doesn't. I'm not like stamping my foot for Henderson.
All right, let's.
I don't have a strong opinion, guys. I'm gonna have for my teams. I'm gonna have May, Stevenson, Henderson, and Diggs teams.
Okay. Chris, you have any? What do you think?
If it came down to me, I would lean Ramondre just because I think he'll be a lot less owned than Trevion. He's the less more attractive name between the 2 running backs. Seems to be maybe they lean on the veteran more in these games, the first round, especially, and then he's playing more. So I mean, I'd rather go with the veteran.
Okay, Matt.
I'm pretty much open to whatever. I don't have a strong enough lean. I would lean Henderson, but I'm fine with Stevenson. And if you want to shoot the Diggs, I don't mind that at all either.
Yeah.
I'm kind of with Matt. I lean Henderson, but I don't mind Stevenson. So if somebody's got a strong opinion, I think let's just.
Okay.
And I think it's a fair point. Stevenson will be a little bit less owned.
Okay.
I don't have a
Alright.
strong opinion. I'm
My
okay.
only thing about the less owned here, I think we have a unique team, or pretty. It's definitely not the run of the mill. Put it that way.
I think this team's going to be hard to be duped unless someone's
Yeah.
just watching and they tail us.
Right. Exactly. And we always reserve the right to go in and make one change, afterwards as well. But that means basically, okay, so what we've done is we've soft faded on this one. Hard faded Pittsburgh and Carolina. We've soft faded Denver, and we're not calling it a soft fade of Houston though, because we think their defense is going to be good. So we think we're probably soft fading a position player somewhere else. So
We're
we've
soft.
got-
Well, we're fading. We're essentially fading Nico because I think everyone when they're going through, like Nico's going to be very popular. I think out of
Right.
Houston because everyone assumes they're going to beat the Steelers, going to get 2 games, and Nico's just going to be that click. Like because people are not going to. They're going to feel uneasy taking a kicker or defense on a team that they feel pretty strongly about is going to play 2 games.
Yep. All right, so we have Matthew Stafford, Josh Jacobs, Travis Etienne, A.J. Brown, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Ramondre Stevenson, Lad McConkey, Colston Loveland, Dalton Kincaid, George Kittle, Will Lutz, and the Houston defense.
Yeah, this
So let's-
team. I don't know if it's like too crazy, but this team is not being duped, guys. Like if that because
I can guarantee you it's being duped with how many people are in this contest.
No,
man.
I don't think so.
No? All right.
Josh
No.
Allen and Cook are going to get all the ownership. So Kincaid right there is very low owned. McCaffrey's getting all the ownership. Kittle's going to be very low owned. And then there was one other guy. Dan, move it down.
Oh, hang on.
McConkey is the other
McConkey.
guy. Like that, he's going to be very, very low owned. No,
I love the
that's-
McConkey pick. That's what I started off with. You
I-
got to
I-
get somebody like
I
that.
just thought it was a way to be different, you know?
I like it, but like the general public is going to think that's a gross pick. They're not going to click on McConkey.
Yeah.
Totally agree. All right, let's do a quick 5-second break. I think we're going to lose Chris at some point during this one, but then we're going to quickly put together our $35 lineup. So we will be right back in 5. And we're back. I was waiting for Nelson on that one.
No. I'm letting you. We gotta keep the show going. You're in charge.
All right, give me a second while I pull up a screen for that one.
I will
And-
say, I'm not trying to second guess this, but like going Loveland and Lutz. Any thoughts on Santos as the kicker and going like
Sutton.
R.J. Harvey or Sutton?
we can do that. I mean, I don't have a problem.
Why not do it on this next team?
Okay,
You
I'm
know?
good with that.
Why don't we do that? You know those last second replacements always bite us in the ass.
Yeah, that's why you keep going to the sign up screen and clicking on $200 on your credit card.
That's what I say. It's like eating potato chips. I mean, it seems like it's, oh, this is so easy, but then you start getting into it and you're like, oh, but wait, I want to do this also, and then I want to do this. So you gotta do what you gotta do. All right.
I mean, I like it because it's different. I do like the players, so I'm down with that. And we're gonna have our own entries anyway. So
Yeah.
Guys, I'm gonna unfortunately I have to bounce here. You guys bring me home the 125K or the what's the next one? The $35.
100 down.
Ship me my 25K when you put in the right one. All right, boys.
Yeah.
All right.
Finish strong.
We'll do it. Okay.
You got it.
Later. Okay. Let me get this on the stage. Boom, there we go. All right, so we know what we did on the last one, so we want to get a little different on this one. Nelson, what do you want to go with first, or Matt?
No, Matt, go ahead.
I think we got to have a Puka one. I mean, for me, it would be put Puka in because we didn't use him in the last one.
Yep.
And I'm kind of for a Lawrence Allen quarterback team on this one, but we'll see how it goes.
I'm with you
fine
there.
with
I think
either Lawrence or Allen.
I think Lawrence Allen or May are the quarterback if we don't go with if we don't go
Okay,
with
I
Stafford.
like that.
So
All
right.
You guys want to go McCaffrey on this one?
Yeah, let's go with him.
okay.
And then we'll change some things up.
I think we're probably, I mean, unless we're going to fade Seattle, I think it's probably JSN. I mean, I don't know. Unless you want to get really weird and go Charbonnet and hope it's a one and done, something like that.
Yeah, I thought about that, Dan, but like I would have to do like 100 entries for me to get down to Charbonnet and Myers.
AJ Bonner.
I listen. I was going through thinking crazy shit in my mind, and I'm like, nah, I'm just gonna do JSN.
All right. So we're gonna start off with some super chalk here. McCaffrey, Nakua, JSN. I think they'll all be well over 50% owned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, you're gonna have to get a little.
Yeah, we got room to get weird still.
Yeah,
All right. So let's
that's
figure
the
out our
chalk.
quarter.
Those are the three chalk guys.
Yep. And then let's figure out our quarterback, because if it's Josh Allen, that's also going to be super chalk. If we pivot over to Lawrence, I think we're a lot less chalky. But I'm fine either way.
Who do you have winning, Nelson? The Jaguars or the Bills? You have the Jags?
I lean Jags, but again, like I'm not rooting for the Jags. I'm not saying hands down the Jags. 100%. Like I could see.
Well, how about this? Would you rather have T-Law or Parker Washington on this team? That's the question.
Well, shit. So for me, I look at it as I would want Allen Etienne because I think Etienne's the one with the best matchup against the Bills' run defense.
I agree with that. I just thought we were going to try and get a little weird, but we can still go with the chalk there.
Yeah, if I go Lawrence, then I would probably want to go Kincaid again. But like I'm okay with Allen.
Okay, go Allen Etienne then. We're going to have to start getting weird.
Yeah, let's
If you like
go
that,
with
Dan.
Allen on this one because Kincaid essentially was kind of like we're saying Buffalo loses and Kincaid could have a really good game against Jacksonville. So let's go with the other side of the Bills winning this one and moving on.
Okay. All right. So we have Josh Allen, McCaffrey, Etienne, Nakua, and JSN. So we've
We
got.
want to put
basically-
RJ Harvey on this team just to change it up.
I think we could go. What do you guys think is going to be the highest owned player from Denver? Do you think it's going to be Harvey, or you think the public is thinking like us that they could be a one and done team?
I think it's probably going to be Sutton. just because
That's
I
what I'm
think it's-
thinking.
You think
I
Sutton
think it's-
higher owned than Harvey?
I think so, just because I think people are starting to get weirded out about that J.K. Dobbins could come back in week 3 of the playoffs. So they're not playing week 1. Week 2, you get Harvey, and then week 3, maybe Dobbins is back, and so that might keep Harvey ownership down.
Yeah. So
And
Let's go
especially
back
if
to
we
Denver.
think if we think Denver is one and done, then I think Harvey makes a lot of sense.
I like Harvey on this one. Only because like the way I'm predicting the playoffs are going to go, I think Houston goes to Denver, and I think Stingley just takes Sutton out of the game.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, we wanted Harvey. So
Yep.
that solves that. Do we want to put Trevion on this team?
I'm good with Trevion.
Okay. Now, we got pretty much chalk. Are we going Saquon or do we pivot to Slim?
I think we're getting to a point where we've got to do some pivoting.
That's what I think.
Right. And I think you could pivot to Saquon or pivot to Slim. I think you could also.
I don't
Goddard
think
is
pivot to Saquon, because Saquon's going to be the highest owned Eagle.
No, Saquon
Right.
doesn't
So
do
pivot
that.
from Saquon, I mean.
Yeah.
So I think we got to pivot off of Saquon. I think we got to either go Slim or Goddard. Goddard's going to be higher owned than Slim, I think. I think Slim is probably the least owned of the big position players.
Oh, by far. Yeah, I don't think Devontae is going to get. I think it's going to be Saquon, Hurts, AJ Brown, and then you're going to see a little bit of Goddard because people are going to have a hard time picking a tight end, and then Devontae is just. I think he's going to be really low.
I love Slim. If they get to face the Rams, I think that's even a.
I'm fine with that. We have McCaffrey on this team. If the Eagles are one and done, Devontae outscores the position guys, then we've got an edge.
Yep.
Okay, so
Now we got to think about Green
tight
Bay,
end.
and we got to think about tight end. I think those are kind of the two biggest things we got to worry about yet.
Yeah, I think what we need to decide here is who's our tight end for this team. That's I think that's a crucial pick for us.
Brenton Strange interest you guys on an Allen team if he's one and done? Could he have a big game? Or on an Allen team, do we soft fade Jacksonville and go little?
I think maybe we soft fade. Well, no, wait, Jacksonville, we already got ETN, right?
No. Oh, we do.
Yeah,
We have it.
Okay,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, what do you guys think about Schultz at tight end? Because Pittsburgh sucks versus the tight end. I think probably playing through the,
Yeah,
it's tough to pick a running back on Houston, and if we're fading Nico, then that kind of brings me towards Schultz.
I'm fine with Schultz.
Yeah, let's go Schultz. That works. Chris liked Schultz for the last team anyway, so we get him in there. I think it works out nice. And then we get to play.
Scott makes a good comment. It's actually exactly what's on my mind right now. Is Jacobs goes in for ETN and Little goes in at kicker.
Okay.
With the logic that if ETN can't put up, like, ETN was good all year, but ETN outside of that 1 3-touchdown game, he's probably not putting up a monster and being one and done. And in this case, we're telling ourselves a story that Allen and the Bills are moving on, right? So
Yep.
I actually think that it makes sense that we soft fade Jacksonville on this
What about-
particular lineup.
Now we've opened it up though that we could put in your Parker Washington.
We could, but then are we soft fading the Bears? Who are we missing out of?
Well, we don't have a bear.
We don't have a
bear. We don't have a Steeler.
Yeah.
What about who's our charge? We don't have a Charger, so we could do Dicker the kicker if we wanted to go that route.
Yeah. So if we win Parker Washington, now we're soft fading Chargers and the Bears, right?
So
Yeah,
it's
probably. And I'll throw in something. I mean, this might be way too weird, but like Jalen Coker, I think would be super, super light owned. I mean, like a handful of people, and playing against the Rams in one game, he could do all right.
I think that's getting too crazy.
Too crazy.
He
Yeah.
has a really good matchup, but I think we go with at least somebody that even has a second chance. I understand what you're saying. I don't hate it, Dan. I don't hate it.
Right.
So that way, hold on.
For a different build, it might work, but not for this one.
I really like Washington, but just saying if we faded Jacksonville with the theory that the Bills win on this team, and we put Cam Little in, who would we pick in the flex besides Parker Washington would be my question. Like who's the guy we would want there?
All right.
Is there anybody?
Let me ask you this. What do you think about Carlos Santos?
Yeah, I mean, he's fine. I'm fine going that route.
I'm fine soft fading Chicago. You know, we're going Jacobs. I think we pretty much consensus was that the Packers are going to win that game.
Yep.
Yes.
So I'm okay soft fading the Bears. I'm just trying to
Bears. Do we go Bears defense? I don't know, because we've got Carolina.
They had a lot of turnovers during the season. I don't mind the Bears defense either.
Yeah, because we've got Pittsburgh, Chicago, the Chargers, and Carolina left, and we got to get a kicker and a defense. And I think I probably like the Chicago defense. Maybe Pittsburgh.
I mean, Pittsburgh at home is an option too, even if they lose, you know. But I'm fine with either way you want to go with it here. I really don't have a strong, like, you know.
All right, let's go Chicago, and then let's see who that leaves us for kicker.
So who haven't we taken? We haven't taken the Steelers. We haven't taken.
Yeah, it goes back to Dicker.
Dicker. That's
our
right, Dicker there. Yeah, boom. There you go. That's what we said that before.
Okay. All right, do we think this team is getting duped? That's my question. I think there's a better chance this one gets duped than the last one.
With Devontae and Parker Washington, I don't think people are gonna be on that. So I think that adds some uniqueness to the team.
I mean, if
Defense.
Jacksonville goes far, I think Washington is going to play a big role. He's been lights out.
Here's the thing, though. So I agree for a different lineup, but for a Josh Allen lineup, we have to tell the story that
That's true. But even against the Bills,
one and done, because if Jacksonville moves on this team,
Yeah,
this
we're
is
done.
toast, because we can't have a quarterback play one game.
yes. But regardless, I think Washington is set up. I mean, I know the Bills have like one of the best pass defenses statistically, but I think they're going to move the ball on them all day. I think that's got to be a game where Josh Allen outscores the Jacksonville team.
My only question is this: is for the teams that were fading and soft fading, the position players, knowing that this particular team we're rooting for Jacksonville one and done, is Parker Washington capable of putting up the biggest game over any position player for the Chargers or Loveland or Burden?
I'm open to those guys. So if you want to put Little in a kicker and open it that way, I mean, I'm fine. I thought you were going to be the Parker Washington guy. So I mean, and I get what you're saying for this team.
I am in the regular season, you know.
No. But I'm just saying for this team, I understand what you're saying. We got Allen, so I'm fine taking Washington out, putting Little in as the kicker, and opening it up that way.
But then you're throwing in a much more chalky player in place of Washington, which that makes me a little nervous. Because you'd be putting in Loveland and taking out Washington.
Because we don't have to go Loveland. I mean,
who's going to be the highest owned Bear? You would say Loveland, and then
I think
Swift?
Loveland, Swift, and Burden, I would say.
Yeah.
Where's Caleb fit in? Do you think there's going to be any Caleb ownership or no?
Very low. It's got to be very low. I mean,
yeah.
You know, bankrolling the Bears. You got to be bankrolling the Bears for 3 games if you're picking Caleb.
How do the Bears? I don't care that we have Jacobs, but how do the Bears beat the Packers? How do you see that? Who's capable of getting it done?
I think if the Bears are going to beat the Packers, it's probably going to be a real mix. I mean, I think they've got it. They're going to do a little bit of running, and I think that I don't know that there's going to be one big player for the Bears. You know what I mean? Like, I think it could get spread around.
Yeah, like you said, the defense has really bailed them out with these turnovers
Yep.
so many times. So, I mean, I'm fine. Like I said, if you want to take out Washington, being that we have Allen, so we just say, you know what, Bills are winning this team. I totally agree on that.
Yeah.
We open it up, and then you either go with like a Burden, I think, or you go with a Gadsden, McConkey.
McConkey, Gaston, Swift. My only thing, my logic, guys, is on a Josh Allen team.
Yes, I agree with you.
I'm gonna have a few Josh Allen teams. I'm doing a bunch of teams in this contest, and I'm gonna on those teams I'm gonna soft fade Jacksonville. Like that's
I got
that's
you.
my logic is that I don't want my Jacksonville player to advance on my Josh Allen team. So it's going to be a soft fade, and that's how I'm going to get get exposure to different players.
So then the question is, so who do we want to go with? The Bears here?
I think it's easier. Well, the Bears and the Chargers, like you got Quentin Johnson, you got McConkey, Gatson, Hampton's not practicing. Plus, I don't like the running back against New England anymore with Milton Williams back.
Mm-hmm.
And then with the Bears, like I could see a Swift game where they're playing good defense and they're running the ball effectively on Green Bay. And it's a Swift game or it's a Burden game. I think if we switch to Loveland, it becomes a lot more chalky.
Yeah, no, I don't think Loveland could be the case. I would kind of say if we're looking to go outside the box, we go Bird in there, and because I think there's going to be points scored. If you think this is going to be a game where they're going to put up points, or if Green Bay's ahead and they got to pass, but I mean I'm fine with Swift too. I just think we need to have somewhat of a unique kind of guy there.
Yeah, I think another way we could get unique is maybe go with like a Gainwell or a Warren or something like that, because a lot of people are going to be hard fading the Steelers.
I'm open to that. My thing with the Bears is at least we know one of Jacobs or whoever we're getting another week out of. If you look at it that way. So that's not that that's the way we have to do it. It's just the way that I'm.
Yeah, I mean, my playoff teams, if the Steelers or the Panthers win, my playoff teams are done. And I'm done watching the playoffs. That's just I'm going to take that stance that I just don't see because it's tough matchups. So with the Steelers, it's one thing if they were like facing like a bad defense, but against the Texans, like I just don't see a big game out of Gainwell, Warren, or DK where they're, one and done.
For me, this pick I think's got to be Burden or McConkey. That's where
I would say I would throw out McConkey just because we already picked him in the.
No, I know. That's why I led with Burden. But again, it's.
All right, let's go Burden.
Just because we were just too chalk up top. We had to change it up a bit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then let's see who that leaves us for defense. Then for defense, that leaves us
Chargers.
Pittsburgh, the Chargers. Yep. Chargers, I think, is the easy pick there. All right. Does that look good? So we have Josh
good.
Allen, Christian McCaffrey, Josh Jacobs, Puka Nacua, JSN, Travion Henderson, RJ Harvey, Devonta Smith, Luther Burden, Dalton Schultz, Cam Little, and Chargers defense. Yeah, I think that's unique enough. It allows us to eat some heavy chalk up top.
Yeah, the only thing I do like Jacobs a lot. I think not having Watson, but that's fine. We got Burden in there, so I think you had to have a Burden or a Watson on this team. So
yeah, I think I think Watson is probably a good fit in a lot of builds. He could have fit in this one if we didn't go Jacobs, but I like Jacobs for this.
If we went Swift, we would have went Watson, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do that too.
But it's good. We got it down, and
Yeah.
hopefully one of these two is a winner.
Awesome. All right. Well, we're at $1.35 already. So thanks everybody for listening. We really appreciate it. Love the feedback. Hit the like button. Leave a comment. Give us a review. Nelson, go ahead. Tell them what they got to do.
Oh, they got to. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Dan caught me way off guard. I was already signed out.
You were telling them on the last one.
They got to like and subscribe. There is no option. Okay.
There we go.
Hit that button.
Exactly. So we appreciate it, everybody. Good luck in the playoffs, and we will check you all later.
Hey, I want to thank you for being part of this broadcast. If you have any thoughts on it, leave a comment. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like. And if you want to see more shows on the Player Profiler channel, subscribe to it. That's how we know you want more.